Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I'd like to introduce University of Maine Quartet. They're going to play something for us. Go ahead. Thank you for wonderful music here for us to get going. Thank you all for taking the time to be with us today. Can you hear me okay? It's really a great pleasure for us to have the Commission here, as well as our legislator friends who are here as well. And our Chancellor Malloy, thanks for the time, taking the time to be with us today. I'd like to introduce Dr. Joan Farini-Mundy, President of the University of Maine and the University of Maine at Machias, and also University of Maine System Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation. Dr. Joan Farini-Mundy earned her PhD in Mathematics Education from the University of New Hampshire in 1980, after serving as a faculty member in math at UNH and Michigan State University. In 2007, she joined the National Science Foundation as the director of the new division for research on learning in formal and informal settings, and later, in 2011, became the assistant director of the National Science Foundation Directorate for Education and Human Resources. Then in 2017, she was appointed as the Chief Operating Officer of the National Science Foundation. Now, it doesn't get better than that. 1 year later, we're so lucky that she left NSF to become the 21st President of the University of Maine. Please help me welcome President Farini-Mundy.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a happy event. I'd like to thank Caleb Thurston of Cumberland. This is our quartet. Emily Dunlap of Old Town. Jacob LaMontagne. Jacob LaMontagne of Berwick, and Sarah Quayle of Norridgewock for that terrific arrangement of the Maine Stein song. Some of us actually stood up and cheered you on. And I want to say that hearing those woodwinds with the bags, it works just fine. You sounded great. Thank you very much. So as Aviv said, I'm Joan Farini-Mundy, the president of UMaine and our regional campus, the University of Maine at Machias. And I'm delighted to welcome everyone this afternoon to the University of Maine. The University of Maine recognizes that we are located on Marsh Island in the homeland of the Penobscot Nation, where issues of water and territorial rights and encroachment upon sacred sites are ongoing. Penobscot homeland is connected to the other Wabanaki tribal nations, the Passamaquoddy, Maliseet, and Micmac, through kinship, alliances, and diplomacy. The university also recognizes that the Penobscot Nation and the other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. Acknowledging this takes on heightened importance today, here on the 201st anniversary of Maine's statehood, a significant marker that has vastly different meanings to those who now share this land. For thousands of years, the Wabanaki people made use of the resources on these lands without depleting them, and by honoring the interconnectedness of all things in the natural world. Their innovative stewardship enables us to be here today and offers us lessons about sustainable practices, including using all parts of what we take from the forest, like the wood residuals being used in additive manufacturing here at the Advanced Structures and Composites Center. We are here today on this happy event to unveil the Dirigo star and turn over this 3D printed time capsule made right here by the talented staff and students that you see before you to the Maine Bicentennial Commission, chaired by Senator Bill Diamond, a graduate of our sister university in Southern Maine and a champion of our universities in Augusta. The North Star after which this capsule is modeled has been a constant guide to the people who lived on this land before and since statehood. It is meant to symbolize our state's leadership. Today, it also shines a light on the talent and innovation that have been produced by our flagship land-grant university since 1865, and we are increasingly elevating Maine in our nation and around the globe. ASCC has been a big part of that, and as we look to the future, this internationally recognized center and the University of Maine will have an even greater impact in shaping Maine and its place in our changing world. From addressing climate change by harnessing our offshore winds, to improving rural health and educational outcomes, to helping our businesses and communities recover from this terrible pandemic, through innovation in our heritage industries, and through educating the talented nurses, teachers, engineers, and computer scientists for Maine. Our university will lead Maine in solving its grand challenges and supporting economic growth and social mobility for the next 200 years. As Maine's only public research university, UMaine has capabilities to design a historic project like this, in large part thanks to the decades of generous state and federal support, including that by the legislature through the Maine Economic Improvement Fund, which invests in research and development at all of our public universities, and especially at our flagship, including the ASCC. Thank you. In recognition of both that longstanding support and the challenges that COVID-19 has created for the Commission's fundraising effort, I am pleased to announce that we are donating the full cost of the ASCC's Dirigo Star Capsule development and production in the hope that that gift allows for the limited resources that are available to support the Bicentennial to be used and invested directly in Maine communities. Lower, sorry.
No worries.
Okay, sorry about that, folks.
No problem.
Including through the successful school and community grants programs. Before I introduce ASCC founding executive director Habib Dagger back to you again to talk about the creation of Dirigo Star and introduce you to his team, thank you. I do want to recognize several of our distinguished guests who are here today. Secretary of State Shanna Bellows, who was a wonderful friend of our university, so there she is, here, okay, where she served in the legislature and will continue to be a partner. Senator Jim Dill, so Jim, then Representative Lori Osher, here who have numerous other leadership roles in the communities of Orono and Old Town, and who've made vital contributions to the university in their roles as faculty members. Dana Connors, president of the Maine State Chamber of Commerce, and a very proud University of Maine alum, who also received an honorary degree from UMaine in 2015. And Chancellor Daniel Malloy, whose incredible leadership of our University of Maine system, especially during this pandemic, and his vision for how our universities can drive growth and transform Maine, have been essential and position us so well for our next 200 years. Thank you all for being here. And to Senator Diamond and the Bicentennial Commission, thank you for entrusting our university with this important responsibility. We are deeply honored to present this gift made by our faculty, staff, and students to the people of Maine. And we are so proud that it will be on public display for the coming century as a reminder of what the people of this great state are capable of creating. With that, I would like to turn this back over to Habib. Thank you all.
Thank you, President Farini-Mundi. I'd like to first start by thanking everyone who worked on making the Dirigo star. So I'd like to ask everyone involved in making the star to please rise and be recognized. Thank you. You have a combination of professionals here, David Erb and John Roy, who have been working on this for quite some time and led the team that did it. Alex Cole as well, Jana Elwell, Danny Pham, Dana Mishu, and Forrest Wentworth. Thank you for all your work to make this happen. Then James Anderson at the very back as well, who has been key to our additive manufacturing programs. So I want to thank every one of you for making this happen. I know it wasn't easy in the pandemic to get this done. But what's really unique about this is that it brings a lot of our past research and points us towards the future research that we're heading towards. If you look at the 3 Dirigo out there that James Anderson and others have printed, a piece of that 3 Dirigo DNA is in that star. If you look right behind me right here, we have a 60-foot bridge girder about to be tested. That girder is made out of composites, 1/6 lighter than steel. And just about a month ago, we placed a bridge like this in Hamden, Maine. It's on Route 1. It's a 75-foot girder bridge. The mold that bridge was made of was 3D printed to test a bridge that you see right here standing up that looks like a big concrete chunk. That was also, the mold for that was 3D printed. So a lot of what you've seen here in the lab is part of that DNA. But what's more important is what it means in the future. Is it feasible to print bridges in the future? Is it feasible to print homes in the future? Is it feasible to print waterfront facilities? And is it feasible to print parts of floating wind turbines? Is it feasible to print parts of blades? The answer is yes. And hopefully that star is a reminder that all of this is possible. And we look forward to follow that star in the future as we print these other things. So with this in mind, I'd like to do the unveiling part, and representing all the students who worked on it, and now a professional. Jana, you want to come up? Yeah. Jana has been working with us as a student here and just graduated now as a full-time engineer. Worked with everyone here in printing the star. So Jana, you want to come to the other side, please? Yeah. And we'll go ahead and unveil the star, which was made out of space-age composites. I think we all want to plan to be around in 100 years to make sure it looks as good as it does today, all right? So, but again, it couldn't be done without everyone. Again, the team here deserves a lot of credit for doing all this. And now I'd like to ask Senator Diamond, Chair of the Maine Bicentennial Commission, to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much, Habib. I appreciate the introduction, but isn't this fantastic? This is, all of you stand again that worked on this. This is just wonderful. Thank you, John. It's really, really nice. We really appreciate all of that. President Farini-Mundi, thank you for having us again, for hosting us. Chancellor Malloy, thank you. I also would like to make again a special thanks to the students and staff who put so much time into this. I know it wasn't easy. We all had to make things work during this pandemic, but thank you very, very much. I do want to say a couple of things quickly. Thank you, Secretary of State Shanna Bellows. I'll tell you why. For being here, number one, but two, for allowing Krista Muzinski to work so hard on this over the last couple of years. She's done a fantastic job, so thank you for that. She's part of your staff, and she's really, really excellent. I also want to say a word quickly about Senator Dr. Professor Jim Dill. He's my seatmate in the Senate. He requires that I always address him that way. So I had to make sure that I didn't forget to do that. And also want to point out that Dana Connors, who's on the commission, is here. Thank you, Dana, for all the fundraising you've done. Peter Merrill, who's not here, is our treasurer. And Jamie Ritter. Is Jamie here? He's the Maine State Librarian. He's also played a critical role in all of this, so we appreciate all of that. I do want to point out one thing, Madam President, if it's okay. This flag, as you can see, is the Bicentennial Flag, and the plan is that I would go up on top of the dome and fly it, which I did this morning because we had to find the coldest day with the greatest wind gusts. So we did it. This will be part of the next 100 years, and I wanted to show you and also say how much we appreciate the design and all that's gone into making all of this possible. So it did fly over the State House, I can guarantee that, and we did memorialize that flying, so thank you for that. The contributions by, certainly by the University of Maine, and all they've done with this shows how far Maine has come since 1820. The unveiling of this, of course, kicks off the time capsule program, and it marks this special moment in history. Jason Libby, Jason, would you just raise your hand just in case nobody knows you? Jason is on the commission. He's also heading up the subcommittee that works so hard on this bicentennial capsule. The subcommittee did a lot of work designing the Dirigo star and the banner and all the elements of the Maine State Seal, which are part of it, and also unifying the symbols of the Maine bicentennial, which is the core components of this time capsule. The star will be mounted on top of a custom-made tapered cabinet created by the Maine Heritage Timber. The cabinet taper imagery, of course, will look like and show the iconic Maine lighthouses, and the housing craft would be wood that's been reclaimed from the Penobscot River. So they tried, and he did an excellent job bringing every piece of Maine into this. Tom Schaefer, is Tom here? No. Tom Schaefer of the Maine Heritage Timber, he's going to be curating other components, the metal Dirigo banner, which will be mounted in the front. There'll be a 2-inch thick polished Maine granite slab placed on top of the cabinet. The reason we want to say a special thank you to Jamie Ritter, the Maine State Librarian, because they will be housing this capsule for the next 100 years. Most of us will have to envision that, but that's just what's going to happen. The cabinet also will have a place for the commission to decide what's going to be put in, which I think will be very exciting. There'll be 4 storage drawers. And each one of those drawers will be opened at 25-year intervals. So first one will be opened in 2045, and then 2070, 2095, and then of course the grand unsealing will be happening, we hope, in 2120. Now this is kind of interesting. The time capsule keepers will be the stewards of the time capsule over the next 100 years. All Mainers who were born on March 15th will be the keepers. So we thought that was a very special addition that was added to this. So people will be able to sign up to be a keeper by going on to maine200.org. And the keepers will all be recognized at the public sealing ceremony at the end of this year, 2021. As you can see, there's been a lot of planning put into this, again, which is why we're so grateful to the University of Maine Orono and to the Composite Center and all the people that work so hard bringing this forward. We have some exciting plans for this year, all carried over from last year, I might add. We had to put the brakes on, but we're very excited about what's going to happen this year. We have the Maine State Bicentennial Parade, which will happen sometime late summer. And that's brought to us by Poland Spring. They're sponsoring that, and that'll be in Lewiston, Auburn. The Maine 200 Innovation Expo, presented by CMP and the Maine Technology Institute, will be at Thompson's Point later in the fall. And again, these events really highlight the UMO's contribution to this. We cannot forget that, nor will we, but the contribution from this university has just been fantastic. We hope to have a 3D printed boat in the parade for show and also at the expo. Statehood Day ceremony again this summer, and the tall ships, if you've not heard about this, the tall ships which we had planned, thanks to David Cheever, by the way, who is the vice president of the commission, worked really hard. We had tall ships coming from all over the world to go up and down the coast. And it's going to be magnificent. I think you're going to really see, when you see that, you're going to see how much fun that's going to be. So we're really excited about all these things. And again, thanks to Dave Cheever for all of his work on the commission, but especially for working so hard on the ships. So go to cmaine.org, 200.org if you want to get any updates, which we hope you'll follow closely. And again, thanks again to the University of Maine for the Composite Star, because this will be a monument to our history, our great university, and our future as a state for another 100 years at least. So thank you very much for all you've done. We very much appreciate everything, and we're grateful for the end result of the star. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. I'd like to also thank the folks who helped us put this event together. Sam Warren, thank you for all your hard work. Megan Collins and Amber Thompson right in the back. So let's give them a hand for all the preparation work. Now we can go ahead and take some photos. So anyone who would like to come and take some photos and with the stars, welcome to come up. So following that, we're going to do a tour of the laboratory so you can see how this was actually printed and how other things are being printed is also in the lab. So with this in mind, anybody who would like to come up and take some photos, you're welcome to do so.
President.